ground, because what fascists believe that? Fascists believe that state is a totalitarian. Again, I am saying that it's not authoritarian. There is a difference between authoritarian state and totalitarian state. See, there was a state under control of Ashoka, Akbar. It was an authoritarian state. Authoritarian state means absolute state, unlimited power of a state, where individual liberty does not exist. Authoritarian. But state will never try to encroach in the other activities of human being. State will only control the political dimension of human being. Therefore, authoritarian means whenever you want to, because when Akbar was there, Akbar never tried to determine religion of individual, culture of individual, culture of culture of individual, education of individual. State never tried to control these activities of human life. State was only suppressing the people who were revolting against the state. That was authoritarian. It is a totalitarian. The totalitarian ideology is a 20th century ideology. It was not existed before. Totalitarian means, as name suggests, see, totalitarian simply means imagine whatever activity of your life since morning to evening. So, what may be your activity? You are attending a religious institution, religious prayer. So, that may be a beginning of our life. This will be also controlled by state. Then we may attend educational institution. This is also controlled by state. Then you can watch a television. This is also controlled by state. Then you may have a employment. Then is also controlled by state. Then see, you want to watch a movie, also controlled by state. And obviously, police and army, that is always under control of state. That is nothing new. Police, this is also said by liberal. Liberals say that police and army is always under control of a state. As of now, just you see China. In China, even no religious practices are allowed in public sphere. Even no religious procession, a religious protest. Religious is only private activity for individual. They are allowed to only, you can pray God inside your house, not outside. हमारे यहाँ से प्रेम से बोलो जय माता दी. Then we are offering namaz on the public road. That's strictly prohibited in China. China is a good example of a totalitarian state. In North Korea, you can't have a hairstyle like Kim and Jong. Even nobody is allowed to wear a jeans like Kim and Jong. Even forget about jeans. And jeans is not permitted. Even Iran is also example of totalitarian state despite the fact there is election. How a state can determine that somebody should wear a scarf or not? This is my personal choice. And that is the point. In a country like India, Puttaswamy or Supreme Court say the right to privacy is a fundamental right. In totalitarian state, there is nothing like a right to privacy. Yes, Taliban, totalitarian state. That is the point. Education controlled by state. In as of now, what is happening in China? Here we are changing the text only. Then there is a hue and cry. In China, every educational institution supposed to introduce the biography of Xi Jinping, the leadership of Xi Jinping, biography of Xi Jinping. That is the taught to every student. That is the state control over education. Since the very beginning, every student is supposed to tell that only socialism is great. China is the closest to the heaven. That is a part of their education curriculum. And here, media. In China, there is only one newspaper, Global Times. One television channel, one newspaper. And here, Indian, aaj tak, kal tak, parson tak. Let us see. Because we are having democratic nation. Because in totalitarian state, some word is missing, like dissent, criticism, protest. These are the words which is not find out in dictionary of these nations. Nothing happens. Because see, state is like God. And God is commanding you. And you are saying that I have a suspicion. No, you are not allowed to exist. That is the reason entire Frankfurt school was, see, that they have resettled their school in US. Because Mussolini says that nobody is allowed to speak against the state. Nobody is allowed to protest against the state because the state is there for well-being of everyone. And that is point. Economy, entire economy is under control of a state, obviously, and that is a police and army. This is a totalitarian state, and Hannah Arendt beautifully defined the features of totalitarian state. What Hannah Arendt says that even she wrote a very beautiful book, Origin of Totalitarianism. So you can, although Hannah Arendt we have to read out it as a thinker, but here just we want to define totalitarianism in the words of Hannah Arendt. What she want to speak about? You can write. Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt said that totalitarianism is the most brutal form of totalitarianism is the most brutal form of authoritarianism. Is most brutal form of authoritarianism. Where? Most brutal form of authoritarianism where? State utilize or state use terror as a tool. State use terror underline, terror as a tool to suppressing the voice of individuals. Terror underline, terror as a tool for suppressing voice of individuals. See, terror is a tool for suppressing the voice of individual. You know that what is a terror? Imagine the fact that India there is a police, there is army. Police and army is only there for catching antisocial element or creating a terror. See, what is a terror? If somebody speak against a state, he suddenly shot. That is creating a terror among individual. Message is very clear. Whosoever is speaking against the state, they are not allowed to exist.